Motivation will lie to you. It has been lying to you for years. Every time it arrived, you believed it would stay. It never stayed. Not because you are weak. Not because you lack willpower. Because motivation was never designed to stay. And the men who built everything you admire, they knew that. Think about the last time you felt genuinely motivated. The energy was real. The vision was clear. The version of yourself you described in that moment felt more achievable than it ever had before. And you moved. Fast, hard, with everything you had. And then, without warning, without a specific reason, without a dramatic event that justified the shift, the motivation disappeared. Not faded slowly. Disappeared. One morning you woke up, and the thing that felt electric 2 weeks ago felt like someone else's life. So you waited for the motivation to come back. Some days it flickered. A video, a conversation, a moment of clarity at 2 a.m. that felt like the return of everything you had lost. And then it was gone again. And somewhere inside that cycle of arrival and disappearance, of believing and losing, you started to wonder if you were the problem. You are not the problem. The operating system is.
The truth about motivation. Here is what motivation actually is. Not the definition you were given, not the posters on the wall, not the speeches that made you feel temporarily invincible. Motivation is a chemical response to a perceived opportunity. Your brain sees a possible future, a better body, a successful business, a version of your life that feels genuinely within reach, and it releases dopamine. That dopamine feels like motivation. It feels like drive. It feels like certainty. It feels like the version of yourself that finally has everything figured out. But it is a chemical, and chemicals do not stay. The dopamine from the new goal peaks at the beginning. It drops when the work stops being new. It drops when the results are not visible yet. It drops when Wednesday arrives and nothing about the process feels exciting anymore. And the men who built on motivation alone hit that drop and had nothing underneath it to keep them moving. So they stopped. Not because they were weak, because they were running on the wrong fuel. Motivation is the spark, but a spark without a system beneath it burns bright for a moment and leaves nothing behind.
What discipline actually is? Discipline is not motivation. This is the most important thing this channel will ever say. Discipline is not the feeling of wanting to work. It is not the energy that arrives on good mornings. It is not the fire that burns after a great video or a powerful conversation or a moment of clarity that makes everything feel possible. Discipline is the system that operates when none of those things are present. When the morning is bad, when the energy is low, when the results are not coming and the doubt is loud, and the reasonable voice inside is building its most sophisticated case yet for stopping. Discipline operates anyway. Not because it feels right, not because the conditions are aligned, not because some external force pushed the man into motion, because the system was built to run regardless. Think about the systems you already trust in your life. Your alarm does not ask if you feel like waking up before it goes off. Your phone does not check if you are in the mood before it charges overnight. Your car does not require you to believe in combustion before the engine turns over. They operate regardless, without consulting your feelings. Discipline is that, applied to the things that matter most. A system that runs on schedule, on structure, on non-negotiable daily inputs, regardless of how the man operating it feels on any given morning.
Why motivation keeps winning? If discipline is the answer,
Why do most men keep returning to motivation? Because motivation feels better, dramatically better. Discipline feels like work. Motivation feels like flying. Discipline feels mechanical, boring, repetitive, unglamorous. Motivation feels alive, electric, inevitable, chosen. And so men chase the feeling of motivation over and over, searching for the video, the conversation, the revelation that will make the work feel like motivation again. And every time they find it, it works. For a while, and then it drops, and the search begins again. That is the motivation trap. Using a feeling to drive a process that feelings were never designed to sustain. A racing driver does not wait to feel passionate about the car before the race begins. A surgeon does not wait to feel inspired before the procedure starts. They have a system, and the system runs, feeling or no feeling. Motivation or no motivation. That is the only version of consistency that has ever built anything real.
The philosophy. Here is the truth that every man who has ever built something real already operates by, whether he can articulate it or not. The work is not something you feel your way into. It is something you show up for. And the feeling, if it comes at all, arrives after, not before. The clarity comes after you sit down to write, not before. The strength comes after you begin the set, not before. The momentum comes after the first week of showing up without feeling it, not before. Every man who ever waited for the feeling to arrive before starting waited forever. Because the feeling does not precede the work. The work precedes the feeling. Always, without exception. In every domain of human achievement this has ever been tested. No one is coming to send you the feeling first. No mentor, no video, no perfect morning. The system is what you build instead. The system that shows up before the feeling. The system that runs when the feeling is absent. The system that compresses the time between where you are and where you are going by removing the dependency on a feeling that was never reliable to begin with.
The protocol. Here is how to build the system. 5 steps. Non-negotiable. Step 1. Identify your one non-negotiable daily input. Not 3, not 5, 1. The single action done every day that moves you toward the thing that matters most. 20 minutes of work on the business. 1 training session. 1 page written. 1 thing. Every day, without exception. Step 2. Attach it to an existing behavior. Not to a feeling. Not to a motivation level. To something that already happens every single day, regardless of how you feel. After the alarm goes off. Before the first coffee. Before the phone is touched. The system runs before the day has a chance to consume it. Step 3. Remove every decision from the process. The night before, clothes ready, equipment ready, environment set. Because the morning version of you is not the version who made the decision. And given the chance, he will unmake it. Remove his options. The system runs when there is nothing left to decide. Step 4. Track presence, not results. Not the output, not the progress, not whether it is working. Did you show up today? Yes or no? That is the only metric that matters for the first 90 days of any system. Results follow presence. Always. Without exception. Never before. Step 5. Protect the system from your own feelings. When motivation arrives, let it accelerate the system. Do more. Go harder. When motivation disappears, run the minimum. 20 minutes. 1 set. 1 page.
The minimum done daily builds more than the maximum done occasionally. Every single time, without exception. The system is the constant. Feelings are the variable.
Never let the variable shut down the constant. You have spent enough time waiting for motivation. You know how that ends. It arrives, it feels real, it disappears. And you are left in the same place, waiting for the next arrival, while the man watching you takes another step in the wrong direction. Stop waiting. Build the system tonight. One non-negotiable input, every day, attached to an existing behavior. Every decision made the night before. Presence tracked, not results. The feeling will come after the system runs, not before. That is not a promise of inspiration. That is the mechanical truth of how every man who ever built anything real built it. The system starts tonight, not when you feel ready. Tonight.
If this found you at the right moment, right now, in the comments, write your system. One non-negotiable input. Specific. The time it runs, the behavior it attaches to. Every morning at blank, before blank, I do blank for blank minutes without exception. Fill every blank. Write it below. Not the motivation version, the system version. Subscribe to Savage Rise. Month 2 has begun. Every week this month, one piece of the system. Built deliberately, explained precisely, implemented immediately. Hit like if you have been running on motivation and felt it fail. Share this with one man who is still searching for the right feeling before he can start. The feeling is not coming first. Build the system. The feeling finds you there. The motivated man waited for the feeling. The disciplined man built the system. One of them is still waiting.